I almost forgot the last example in this section, so that's why I had to put a second video on. So let's think about that toboggan example again that we just looked at. So our friends were pulling at the same angle to each other. But what happens if one person changes their angle so their angles aren't the same? So now, if one person pulls with a force of 60 newtons at an angle of 30 degrees, how much force should the other person exert at 20 degrees to keep the toboggan moving forward in a straight line? So again, I'm going to do a bird's eye view. So there's our toboggan. There's our forward line of motion. Now we have 60 newtons at 30 degrees, and we have some newtons at 20 degrees. Well, if this toboggan is in a state of equilibrium, meaning that it's moving forward in a straight line at a constant velocity, these three vectors have to balance each other. This is the resultant of these two acting together. But vectors don't act together to give a resultant tail to tail. So I'm going to slide this other vector up there, and that's what I'm looking for. But in this case, I need to know my angle. I have 30 and 20 degrees, so that's going to give me 50 degrees. So it's going to be 130 degrees in my triangle. Now the problem with this one is I don't know what the resultant is. I can't carry forward the 113 newtons because we've changed this angle. So we don't know that there's 113 newtons acting forward. However, I have a triangle here, and I know that there's 30 degrees there and 130 degrees there. So then that will be 20 degrees. I'm thinking I probably could have done this on the first example and used sine law as well. We use cosine law, it's okay. But on this example, I just realized if that's 20 and that's 140, that's 60, that's 20 degrees, and I could have used sine law to find the 113 instead of cosine law. Not a big deal. This one I am going to use sine law. So this is what I'm looking for. I could call it F for force. So F over sine of 30, because force is opposite the 30 degrees, is equal to 60 over sine of 20, because 60 is across from my 20 degree angle. And then I'm going to cross multiply. So 60 times sine 30 divided by sine 20 equals 87.7 or 88 newtons. So because this person is pulling at a lesser angle, they have to pull a little bit harder to make, or actually quite a bit harder, in order to stop this person from veering the toboggan off in that direction because of their increased angle.